Hello quilty friends and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and I make videos about quilting and my creative life. Anywhere that you can find me is listed down in the description box, including Instagram, TikTok and exclusive content over on my Patreon. Today it's the 1st of October and it's confession time. So if you've been following my channel a while, you might recognise this box and this project. This is my temperature quilt, which is a project that I started on the 1st of January 2024. And a temperature quilt is where you make one block a day that represents the daily high and low temperature. You can do it to just represent the average. Essentially, it's just a block a day that represents the temperature. How you choose to set your parameters is completely up to you. I'll leave the links to the previous videos down in the description box, but October is the month where I'm going to get up to date with the temperature quilt so that then I can stay up to date, because I would love to finish the quilt at the end of the year, the quilt top. So I opted for a non-traditional type of temperature quilt. I didn't want it to be the reds for the hots, that type of thing. I wanted it to be patterns that I liked as well. So I'll give you a little sneak peek of what it looks like. It actually goes this way. I need to mark what number row this is because I haven't marked the number of rows. Let me dig out my paperwork and let's actually have the confession. Right, okay. Not as bad as I thought, but I haven't done this temperature quilt since the 31st of July. When I say I haven't done it, I have done it. That wasn't the last time I touched this quilt. I probably attempted to catch up maybe about a month ago and then I've fallen behind. So I want to do all of August, September and October by the end of October. So that means I need to do 3 blocks a day. Yeah, I need to do 3 blocks a day and that will get me up to date by the end of October. These are hand appliques, needle turn applique, and then I'm joining them together by hand. I do, however, have a bunch of rows that haven't joined, and that is also causing me a little bit of a downfall. Let me show you this super cute pouch that I've got in. I made this at the beginning of the year, I think. These was all foundation paper pieced and all of these fabrics were from Rose Garden Patchwork. Have a look where we are. So I've got a bunch of rows here that need joining together. Now what I think I'm going to do with the rows is actually join them on the machine. Now the reason for that is because because I'm handling this fabric a lot, it's fraying an awful lot. So I'm just worried about the amount of fraying. I do find that Liberty quilting cotton does fray a lot. The Tana lawn, I don't have that problem at all, but in quite a few places I've had to use a fray check, which is kind of like a glue product, to prevent it fraying even more. And I don't want to use that too much. So here I've joined 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to start joining the rows that I've already done on the machine, also to speed it up because I'll never get them joined otherwise. Right, so where's the 1st of the year? So this square here was the 1st of the year, and you can see the fray in here. So I've actually put fray check on there to prevent it fraying because it's almost frayed back a whole 1/4 inch. So I think that just handling it less by doing the joining on the machine will help with the fraying. So this is where we are so far. Only one day of the year has had snow and I've put a tiny white circle. We didn't have any snow throughout the winter at the start of this year. So fingers crossed. The temperature this year hasn't really been that great. I don't think we've even gone over like 26 or 27 degrees, not hot at all. So the fabric that I bought at the start of the year was a little bit weighted in the wrong direction. So we've had a lot of autumnal weather throughout summer. So I've used a lot of my autumnal colours already. So I'm currently trying to get new fabrics. I dare say that when I am basting up these shapes, I won't have enough of some fabrics, so I do need to be careful. So what I'm going to do now is baste everything up. I'll have all of September, all of August, all of September. I'm going to baste those ready, and then I'll do October as I go. And what I thought I would do is just bring you along with me throughout the month so that you can see how I'm getting on, and then at the end of this video we'll see whether I did manage to get back up to date with the temperature quilt. So do stick around for that. This is the sheet that I've been recording on all year, and this is just a download from the Moda website. So let's move it. Oh yeah. So all I've been doing all year is just writing the daily high and low. So I've done that now for all of August and then all of September. As it's only the 1st of October, I'll start recording these as October goes on. And this is the layout of my quilt. I don't think I'll have this empty space. I should draw another circle, because when I was planning this I forgot that there was a leap year. So that'll go somewhere, and I think there's 19 rows or 21 down, and I've just started row 14, I think, or 13. God, I'm not very familiar with this project, am I? So I'm going to get cutting it out now. Just wanted to share with you the complete chaos that comes when you're doing this type of thing. I've also got everything laid out here on the ironing board. This is how I prep the blocks. This is the low temperature, and then the circle is the high temperature. And then I just mark it with a heat erasable pen, and that is the line that I'll turn to. And then these are just pins that I put in, and just for safe measure I write the date on the back and stack them with face down. And then I'll keep them in this order. I'll flip them this way and work from them this way. So that's the 1st of August. But I do just write the date on there just to keep them in order, just in case anything were to happen. So these are all the colours that I thought would be for autumn, but they're not. So the 1st of August, oh okay, that was 27 and 16. Then we've had other temperatures in the 23s. So 23 degrees. So I'm just going to carry on. I've basted up until the 13th of August. So I've only done a quarter of everything. So I'm going to carry on and get all these done tonight, because otherwise I'll just procrastinate and I won't get these basted. It is now something like the 22nd, I think, of October. Pretty much nearing the final stretch, and I'm only a month behind. So I have managed to catch up quite well, and I'm pleased with how it's going. I'm going to have another stint of basting today. So basting the circles, and then I can just sit and sew them at my leisure, usually on the evening. But today what I want to do is spend some time getting the rows joined together, because my quilt top now is busting out of the project bag. Thankfully I have numbered all of the rows. I'm not sure when I started numbering them if I actually wrote it on with heat erasable pen, the number. Probably not my best idea. In later stages I know I was using a biro and a pencil, because then I thought, well, you're gonna have to iron these before you join them. I don't know if I had that thought at the beginning, so I think I'm just gonna have to join them without ironing, and then iron them at the end. As I'm feeding it through the machine, I'll make sure that the seams are nested at that point. It should be okay. Let me have a look. Let me familiarise myself with how many rows I've actually got joined. I think I showed you this at the beginning of the video, so you'll remember. Oh, I've actually got, oh no. So I've got 6 there. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rows there joined, which isn't too bad, is it? What I do immediately notice is the applique. I have ironed these ones that are joined, and the applique is a lot flatter, obviously after joining. So before you iron them, they are quite puffy. They have a little bit of dimension. So now I'm thinking about how to quilt these. So I'm thinking I might just quilt around every circle. I come to do my hand quilting, but that might be fiddly, mightn't it? Just twisting the quilt constantly. Hand quilting 366 circles. Is that an unachievable task? I don't know. And what colour will I hand quilt in? I do enjoy thinking about the hand quilting, and I think about that quite a lot when I'm preparing. I know which is my first one, because I know which way is up, because the very first row frayed an awful lot. I'm now just thinking, am I going to be putting a border on this, or will I just bind it straight to the edge? Because that first one is quite close to the edge, so perhaps around all of this I might put a thin border. I don't usually like plain borders, so we'll think about that when we get to it. So what row are we on here? We need row 8. So row 11. That looks like it's written in here, erasable pen. Row 12. Row 8. So let's get joining. So it should be quite easy to get fairly accurate seams, even on the machine, because I've got the lines drawn for the hand piecing, and I should be able to get my points fairly accurate and nested, because when I'm pinning here, I'm going to pin right into the corner as if I would when I'm hand piecing them together. So I don't think I'll set my foot to 1/4 of an inch. I will literally just sew on this line that is drawn. And just sew on the line. So it should be quite easy. It's obviously just time consuming because of all the pins. But I'd rather get them nested really nicely, because that's what I like about hand joining. You can really get them accurate because you're there up close and personal with them. You forget how long the rows are. I'm just going to check I've got the right number of squares. Yep. Let me share with you my progress. So I've joined all 16 rows that I've sewn now. So that means that all of these blocks that I'm showing you here are up until the start of October. I've still got a small stack to sew that I've basted. And I just need to catch up with a few more weeks of sewing the blocks together. But I am so pleased with my overall results. I feel now that it's a lot more manageable for me to actually finish by the end of the year. I'm going to try and sew 2 blocks a day until I am all up to date, but even so I enjoyed being behind by like a week or so, because that meant that I could prep all of the blocks in one go. I didn't have to drag out the whole box and sort all of the fabrics every single day. I could just do it all in one block and then sew those blocks throughout the week. So I probably will still continue with that approach. I'm thinking that every Sunday evening I'll prep some hand sewing for me to do in the week. You know, when you just get those 15 minutes here and there. And in my most recent Patreon video, I was actually prepping all of my recent projects and just having it to hand so that when I get 30 minutes here or there, I can just sit down and do the hand sewing, which in my opinion is the best bit. I am still on the lookout for some of this blue polka dot fabric. I've ordered some, but it actually came as the wrong colour, which is the hardest part of ordering it online. If you saw that heart there, that was to mark my partner's birthday, and I'll be doing one of those for my birthday that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So here is the back of the quilt. I've still got a little bit of work to get the seams a little bit neater. It's just been folded up in the box, so obviously before I base the quilt, I'll get all of the seams nice and even. But it's so satisfying to see the applique stitches on the back. You can really see the dimension. I was hoping that I'd be able to finish this on a nice sunny day because the quilt looks really nice with the sun coming in behind it. And here is just a comparison of my hand stitches that I was doing to join the rows initially, and then the machine stitches. So thank you so much for watching and leaving lovely comments on the videos. I always appreciate that. Thank you so much. And until the next time I see you, you take care and happy crafting.